Okay, we are live and we are on, and we welcome you from around the world and in the United States. This is Diana Wright, and this is the Diana Wright Show live online. My special guest this morning, as usual, it's Wow Big Friday. Dax is here with me, and we are both talking, and Dax, I'm going to bring you in right away. Good morning, and thanks for joining me. I just kind of had a flood of emotions and thoughts and everything, wondering if I was the mother of this kid, how would I feel of these children, the family. I mean, I saw them interviewing his uncle, and the guy looked so bewildered, wondering, oh my God, how did my nephews do something like this, And he kept saying, I can't believe it. I thought it was not true. I could not, come to grips with this. And then I look at the pictures that they've been showing about, on them when they were younger, and I thought to myself, well, these look like sad kids. Is it because they're from Pakistan or whatever that they look like that? And I'm saying to myself, okay, any of my pictures when I was young, do I look like that? No, I don't. I always look like, I'm up to good things, So I just wanted to get your thoughts on that, because you can't escape it. You have to discuss it, but we're not going to dwell on it like everybody else is. And as I was saying to Dax before we came on, there's other news happening around the world, like the former president Musharraf of Pakistan was arrested this morning in Pakistan, forced to go to court, forced to do everything this morning, and he was arrested for treason, and he's going, all I did for Pakistan was do good things, and look at that, they're arresting me for doing good things. He's been in exile for quite a few years, since I think 2008, and then he came back a few weeks ago to run for president again. And I kept saying, is this guy crazy? Why is he going back? And they want to arrest him, but here he is. I guess he figured he was bigger than the whole system, so he went back, and here he is, arrested this morning. And nobody's talking about it, neither on CNN International, MSNBC, nobody, because everybody's so focused on Boston. What are your thoughts on all of this?
There's a saying that truth is stranger than fiction, and that in our wildest imagination, what's going on in the world is beyond many of us our comprehension. And there's a challenge we have, that if we try to make sense out of nonsense, we find ourselves to be very confused, because there's no logical reason except that there are some people who are absolutely committed to negativity, and they'll go to any extent to create that type of negativity. So I think that this morning we should really more than ever talk about loving yourself.
Amen. Amen to that.
And look at each news article just like you did a while ago, because we don't know the truth. We do not know the truth as to exactly what happened with these young men. But we know that a bomb, we can appreciate, we believe that the bomb went off and that all of those things have happened. We see the pictures, and they certainly seem to tie together that these young men have some involvement.
Yes, we saw them with the backpacks, and all of that, and the caps. And let me just pause there for a minute and address parents. Our young people want to dress like hoodlums. Just try to encourage them not to do so, because then everybody you see now with a hat turned back and a backpack, you're going to go, oh, what does he have in his bag? You know what I'm saying? It's just like the hoodie thing with the young man that was killed here in Florida. It's the same thing. Trayvon Martin with that hood thing. I had a son, he ain't wearing no hoodie, and he ain't wearing his pants down that I can see his underwear, and there you go. So immediately, and last night when he robbed the 7-Eleven, he was wearing a hoodie. You see what I'm saying? So these negative things, we as parents just need to tell our children, we know you want to be fashionable, we know you want to be hip, but there are certain things that you just need to not do. Seriously, so go ahead, Dax.
Again, we unfortunately, the news media has has a job, and
Yes.
that is to get viewers. It is some sort of entertainment, and unfortunately, they've come to the conclusion that negative news gets much more attention than positive news.
Definitely so. Definitely
And
so.
you know, I mean, but at the same time, we feel that humanity needs positivity.
Amen. Woo.
Yeah. So you know, more than ever, we just have to find the good things to celebrate within ourselves. That it's not always about outside us. It's about knowing that I am alive, and today I have the ability to take care of myself, take care of my kids, take care of my family, and continue to share good and positive things. And as the news unfolds, because we haven't seen the last of this.
No. This is a long journey. You know, they're going to go to find his mother and his father and his cousin and his long lost friend.
And the situation in Boston, I mean, I'm listening and understanding that people are being told don't leave your house. So people really are in a state of, you know.
Yeah, the whole of Boston is now under lockdown. Period. All of Boston. It was just one town before. But the governor was on earlier and said that the whole place is locked down now. Can you imagine two young men causing the transit system in Boston to stop? I mean,
cell phones, I mean, right after they shut down all the cell phones,
Yes.
so people couldn't even make calls to check on family members because they thought they could use the cell phones to detonate the bomb.
and even airspace this morning is blocked going into Boston. No flights, no nothing. You know, you just imagine, you say to yourself, what can I do now? And, you know, I'm going to this sporting event this weekend, or I'm going here next weekend. There's another marathon coming up in London this weekend. Should I go? Should I not go? You should not allow anyone to make you live in fear. Seriously. You know,
Absolutely.
you really shouldn't. So, you know.
You know, one of the things we have, you know, is that if we approach life from the position of, well, we're trying to survive and live forever, we're making a mistake, because none of us will live forever. What we have to do is appreciate the moments that we have, the now, that right now we have the ability to make choices to be happy, to appreciate the things that we have, and to just give thanks for all that is wonderful around us. And these incidents have two options. You have two ways to respond. One is to say, thank God I am alive.
Yes, and I'm not there.
Exactly. You know, and we still are sympathetic, and we still have compassion to the victims.
Oh, definitely.
But we cannot allow it to create the cloud over our lives, to dictate that we're not going anywhere, and see, you can't trust anybody, and everybody's a criminal. You know?
Exactly. And you know, the experts say that when bad things happen around you and you internalize it, it actually makes you depressed. So you definitely should not be doing that. Okay? So I'm just pleading to all of you out there, do not allow this to take you over, get you into a little corner where you say, oh, I'm not going to leave my house, and oh, I'm not going to do this, and you know, my next door neighbor, I'm not going to talk to him anymore. You know what I'm saying? And be suspicious of everyone, because that is not a good thing either. That's another extreme that we don't need. Okay. Also, moving away from that now and going into Italy. Pope Francis, I see, is doing more things to show how frugal he is. He has cut off the bonuses of Vatican employees. Normally they would get, like about 4,500 employees, they would get $2,000 in bonus. He said, no way. Nobody's getting any bonuses. And everyone is thinking that he's taking into account the fact that the Vatican is in a deep ditch right now with about 15 million euros in deficit. So, and that was posted in 2011, so everybody kind of knows that. It's no big news. So everybody's saying that the Pope is being normal to his, his true self. And of course, he's not getting the normal satin hats and the personalized perfume like Pope Benedict and lacy slippers, and he's choosing to live in the 2-room suite as opposed to in the palace. So this is just part of it. I'm not too sure that all those employees in the Vatican are happy with him today. So I you know, like I've been saying all week, because was a earlier news this week about the nuns, how he came out and reaffirmed what was going on with the nuns in America, who are kind of saying, we want you to look at homosexuality, you know, and include them in the church. We wanted to make women priests and all of that. But they're saying that he's looking at the rules for clergy that about celibacy. He's taking a look at that. And
No. Hold on.
yes, he is. It's right here.
You're saying he's considering.
No. The Pope Francis is also rethinking, I'm reading it exactly how I got it, rethinking celibacy rules for clergy. He's rethinking it and looking at it. So I think my personal feeling always about the Catholic Church is that if they allow these guys to marry if they want to, there will be less molestation of young boys. That is just my opinion. Okay? Always about the Catholic Church, because I think it takes someone to be so disciplined, so good, so great to be able to be celibate. Especially, we're talking about men here. You know, remember Pope Francis? They said he had a girlfriend that he was in love with and wanted to marry before he decided to choose between her and the church. Okay, so he's human. Okay, I'm sure he has feelings and stuff like that. So the fact that he chose the church, this is a strong person. I mean, I did a show in Jamaica on the Diana Wright show called whatever, something about the pulpit. I can't think of the exact title of the show right now, but I had a Jesuit priest on there. He was the most handsome young man from Boston. Hello, he's from Boston, thinking about it right now. And all the women in the audience kept saying to him, how come you're so good looking and you decided to be celibate? It doesn't make sense. And they just could not understand how he could do this, you know, because he was such a nice guy. And everyone, you know, in the audience, female, was going, all the girls would want you. Why do you choose to do this? You know? And he had to be there explaining. So in my mind, I think it really takes a very disciplined, controlled person to be celibate. So for the Pope to be rethinking it, to me, is a good thing. I don't know how you feel about that, but that's what I think.
I think it's a fantastic thing. I think my thing is that it would be a huge change in terms of where we are and where we're going.
Yep.
So.
And especially the Catholic Church, because this is something I've known all my years. So anyway, I just pulled this offline. And it says, and I know you like to discuss these things because it's, you know, it's food related. If you are stressed, they're wanting you to do these things. Eat lots of black beans, because black beans is a source of magnesium. And magnesium is a critical mineral for stress management relief. Magnesium helps relax your muscles. And black beans with chili, rice, and chips is good for you. Okay, that's just one. You want me to read them all first,
no,
and then
let me respond to that one.
Okay, respond to that one.
That is. I have to say, that is ridiculous.
Okay, I kind of thought that's what you would say.
You're stressed. The first thing, stress is not something that you should accept as I'm constantly stressed. So if you're stressed in that moment, you must now go find black beans. Eat the black beans.
Yes.
And then say, okay, now I'm going to address my stress. No. The first thing you need to do is take a deep breath.
Amen. Take a deep breath and relax.
Identify what is causing you the stress. And there is no, unless it's something physically on top of you, putting pressure on you, all it is a mental position you have to now adjust. So you need to change your mind about this thing. You see, to say, okay, I am feeling the traffic is moving too slow. I'm not getting to where I need to get to in time. if I don't relax, I'm going to blow a blood vessel.
Or my blood pressure is going to rise.
There you go. And you need to take a deep breath and say, if you have maybe you need to pull off the side of the road, make a phone call and say, I'm going to be late. I'm not going to be there in time.
Right,
Or you need to
exactly.
just realize that, so what if I don't make it? You know, I am going to be late. No problem.
Exactly.
And just accept it. So stress is about changing your perspective and adjusting your expectation. And certainly magnesium is something that's great for the body and it can help with stress, but I don't believe it's a realistic way to manage stress.
Okay, all right. Next one is tea. And they say tea floods your system with antioxidants. Black tea, green tea, oolong tea contain amino acids. And the amino acid is called theanine, which stimulates alpha brain waves and gives calm, spurring alertness. They even recommending that if you're going to a meeting, you should drink tea before you go to the meeting. And they are suggesting that you drink tea at every meal. And I'm going, I don't think so, because tea, I can barely drink tea once a day, less every time I eat. So.
Well, I am actually thinking of even opening a tea shop.
Room?
Yeah, and having tea parties.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought about that years ago. A girlfriend of mine who lives in Palm Beach, and my daughter says to me, okay, mommy, are you just going to have ladies at this tea? What about the guys? And I go, okay, not so sure. I don't know if guys are going to want to come to a tea party. But anyway, so she says, and then she says to me, but, you know, teas, parties, you know, you have to dress up, you know, all these pretty dresses and stuff. So what are the guys going to wear? So I just kind of scrapped the idea.
No,
So I'm with you with that.
Yes. I think tea is a good thing to incorporate the habit of tea. My problem is, you know, I have to be careful. I can't drink it when it's too hot.
Exactly.
But let it cool down. Let it cool down. The tea don't have to be hot to be useful to the body.
Okay.
Warm tea that you can drink without burn your tongue and burn up yourself. Take the time. But tea is good. Tea is a good thing.
Definitely
to incorporate as a habit. Just the process of preparing it, it slows you down. It brings your attention to, you know, a much more slower pace. And I think it's certainly a great tool for relaxation.
By the way, have you heard of hibiscus tea? I'm told that if you have high blood pressure, you should drink it. Where do you get it? I was looking for it in the store yesterday. I couldn't find it.
You can get it. Ocherius Miami Trading has a hibiscus tea. It's a dry. You know, it looks just like Cersei. Sorrel. Sorrel is hibiscus tea.
Really?
Sorrel is hibiscus tea.
Oh my goodness! All the things that we grew up with and we never knew the value.
Sorrel.
My goodness.
Sorrel.
Okay, so can you get it in like tea bags or? Because I heard them talking about it on Dr. Oz's show yesterday.
The tea bag, but in a lot of the Jamaican, I'm saying buy the sorrel and then you pour the hot water on it and then you just strain it and that's perfect.
But I thought you could only get sorrel one time a year or something like that.
No man, I know Ocherius Miami has
Miami Trading, yes.
It's packaged nicely.
Oh.
Seal up in a bag and it dried. Very, very convenient pack.
Sorrel is hibiscus tea. They say it's actually, Dr. Oz is recommending that if you have high blood pressure or anything, tension, you should drink that 3 times a day and you'll be fine.
Yes.
I was like, what? So I went hunting for hibiscus tea to keep me calm. I couldn't find any.
No, here's the thing. We know sorrel as this drink where we add the rum
and Christmas. And that's the reason I don't drink it, because I don't drink alcohol. That's the reason. That's the reason I don't drink sorrel, because it always has wine and stuff in it, and I don't drink alcohol, so I really don't like sorrel. But now I know that you can just drink it without all that stuff in it.
I actually had to go all the way to Egypt. And in the hotel, when you walk in, they have this cooler and they pour you a picture of this thing and it tastes great. And what is this? Cold. And it's a hibiscus tea. So I go into the market and I see it. I said, why it look like sorrel, you know? I come back and I see it, I buy it, I run the hot water over it. But you don't even need to do it with hot water. You can actually take cold, dried sorrel, soak it in the water, you know, a couple hours. Hot, it steeps immediately.
Right.
And you drink it with nothing. You don't have to add anything at all to it. You don't have to add sugar or anything to it. It is a very refreshing drink.
Very interesting. You see all the things you learn on the Diana Wright Show with Dax and Diana. Okay, there you go. And remember, loving yourself is the most important thing. April 30th is just around the corner, and it's International I Love Me Day, created by this show. And don't try to steal my idea now, because I have it copyrighted and everything already on a CD.
For 1 quick second. Sorry.
Yes. Okay. All right. No problem. Okay. Dax will be back with us in a minute, so I'm just gonna tune him out there, and just to know that sorrel, something that you grew up on, and it's not just Jamaica. I think a lot of people around the world. He said he had to go all the way to Egypt to realize that it was the same thing. So it's not just the Caribbean. And here we go. It is being recommended for people who have high blood pressure to keep you calm. Hibiscus tea, same thing as sorrel. So he just told us that Ocherius Trading Company, that's one of the companies that distributes, Jamaican products and other products, so you can find them in the store. Well, I'll be hunting for some sorrel, and I won't be putting any alcohol in it or anything like that, because that's one of the reasons I don't normally drink it, because I never knew that it had so many great health benefits. All right. Also in the new
quick update.
Quick update. Okay.
The second suspect, you know.
Oh, they did. Very good. Thank you for giving me that. I prayed this morning and I asked God to put down His supernatural powers. Let them find him alive, because we need to speak to this young man. So did they find him alive, or is he dead?
Right now they've cornered him.
Okay.
I hope that they do not
shoot him, because we need to know what happened to you, young man. Who got you to do these bad things, kind of thing. Okay, the next thing here is, I don't know, I want you to straighten this one out, because someone who's on your program said to me on your Detox 21 is saying that they're going to try not to eat salmon, and I was trying to convince her it's not about eating salmon when you get off the Detox 21. It's when you're doing the program. Okay?
100%.
Okay.
Right.
All right. So I'm correct. Okay.
Let me just take 1 minute and
sure.
just address it.
Yes, please do.
The program tells the body to release fat, and fat to the body is like oil.
Okay.
And we try to avoid fatty foods, because when you're on the detox and you have a fatty food, your body tends to burn that fat before it burns the body's natural fats. And so salmon and oil in general, no oil, no lotion, no oil on the body, no oil in your food, no oil in the preparation of the food.
Right.
And salmon is highly fatty. But salmon is a great fish. It's a great food. We strongly recommend having salmon off the program after you finish the 21 days. So during stabilization, for the rest of your life, salmon is a great fish, something to eat all the time, but not on the program. Okay, so let me tell you what, this salmon is actually the third and final one. It says salmon, omega-3 fatty acids boost serotonin levels and suppress production of adrenaline and cortisol, which we all, have heard so much about, two hormones that contribute to anxiety. Omega-3 also fights depression. Alaska pink or sockeye, both wild caught, those are the ones you're supposed to eat. If you're buying salmon and you see the label says Atlantic salmon, they're telling us that is farm raised, and you should stay away from the farm raised one. What are your thoughts? Well, I've heard a lot about it, and I have to just accept that, yes, I think that, there is a whole process in nature that gives us a complete food, and to, shortcut or to distort that process sometimes results in we don't get the same results. So I think, salmon is one of those fish that, for example, tilapia and other fish can grow in farm raised and still be quite, useful to the body. But I think there's a definite difference in salmon that has been raised without it going through its natural
process. Okay, the problem is that I love salmon. We eat it all the time. But we only buy it directly from a place that gets it. You can see they just caught it that day or whatever, and they sell it off. But the thing about salmon is this. The one that is farm raised tend to taste much better than the sockeye, and the one we know is good. How so?
I'm going to do some research on it.
Please.
I can't sit here and tell you I'm an expert on salmon, but I am going to do some research. So come Wednesday or come next week, Friday, I'll definitely give you some feedback on it.
Definitely, because, I had a whole discussion about this one day, that the salmon that is farm raised tastes so much better than the sockeye or the wild salmon, because the wild salmon tend to be more dry, and the sockeye, same thing. And then when you go to the farm raised, it's nice and moist, and you cook it the same exact way, and it tastes better. So,
one of the things, someone make a horrendous journey back upstream, and they put a lot of work into that whole process. So, but I'm going to do some research. I will definitely be able to give you a little bit more of my opinion
on that,
based on what other people are saying.
All right. Okay, great. All right, we're going to continue in the realm of keeping well. Even though this is not Wellness Friday, it is a Wow Big Friday, but these are some of the things I thought that was important for you to know, because when we get into the weekend, a lot of us eat our biggest meals then, and we indulge more, and we don't exercise necessarily that weekend. They're saying you need to exercise 6 days a week, okay? So, anyway, in order to keep the maintenance part of any program, including DAX's 21-day detox, these are some of the things they're recommending. I didn't write all of them down. I only wrote the ones to me that made sense, because some of them were just ridiculous. Okay, weigh yourself once a day, which is what DAX also recommends. And I kind of thought that you should not do it every day because you'll get frustrated, but now I'm convinced that you need to do it every day. So you keep on top of saying if you gained a pound, you're not kind of under the delusion that you didn't. Okay. Limit watching TV to only 2 hours a day. Not possible for a lot of people. Okay. Eat 4 grams of fiber at every meal. I'm not sure that one is possible also. Walk and exercise 6 days a week. Yes, I can see that possible, but I see a lot of people kind of scoffing on that one. Sleep, which is something Dax always recommends, 8 hours. Drink 8 glasses of water, which is also something on his detox plan. And they say don't overwork. You must just do 8 hours. It is good. Life will continue the next day. So, there you go, Dax. So,
I agree with everything you said. And in terms of the exercise, you need. I strongly recommend that people move away from exercise that becomes a chore. Exercise should become more social. So, going for a walk with the family rather than I have to go to the gym and spend an hour on the treadmill.
Yes.
Instead it should be, let me take the kids outside. If it's a newborn baby, put them in the stroller, go for a walk. If it's older kids, take them with you, go to the park, let them run around, you walk around the swing set and get your walking while you watch them play. But getting outside more, great. For if you have sports, if you that way inclined. And by the way, Diana, I actually have a big announcement. I almost forgot.
Okay.
I have declared myself the fastest man in South Florida over 40 in the 100 meter.
Really? I didn't even know you did running.
I say this because I'm challenging anybody, even your viewers, to beat me in 100 meters, but you have to be over
40.
You have to live in Florida.
Okay, so Usain Bolt is out. Usain Bolt is out, right?
Huh?
I I said Usain Bolt is out.
Yeah,
because he's not 40.
You cannot be a professional athlete.
Yes.
So you have to be just a regular person over 40 who is fit. So I don't, I'm not looking for only fat people, or disabled people, but and I'm putting up $1,000.
Wow.
And it's on the 4th of July this year.
Oh my goodness. That means I have to make sure I'm in Florida for 4th of July. I'm normally not here for 4th of July.
It's at the Central Park in Plantation.
Okay. Well, we're going to promote that.
It's a race.
Yes.
And I am the champion right now because I have created the competition. So until somebody beat me, I am the champion.
You are the champion. Okay. Okay, yes. Champions. All you champions listening to this, you have to be over 40 to challenge Dax. He's saying he's the champion. Can you defeat him? You must be over 40, and you can't be a professional athlete coming to try to do a thing, okay?
Right.
Because, you have people like that who say, okay, let me go beat him. But then when you check their background, they're professional athletes, so we don't want that. And he's putting up $1,000 for you to win. And what are you giving away? A trophy plus $1,000?
No, just at this point. So I announced it, and by the way, I right after I did it on the radio, I got a call from this guy from Lake Farm Products, and he spoke very highly of you.
Wow, thank him.
He has the lemon, the bitter lemon.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's so Dalton.
He's agreed to be a sponsor as well.
Okay, great.
So he's putting up some money, and he thinks he's gonna be running as well.
No. I know Dalton. Dalton ain't beating you in no 100-meter. Dalton, if you're out there watching, you cannot beat Dax. I'm sorry. I love you to death, but you can't.
Well, the John T sent me a text the minute I announced.
Is he gonna run too?
Over 50.
John, you're going to do an over 50 too? Because, John is over 50, so he would
John
not...
says I have to have an over 50 and an over 40. So I am the over 40 champion. It seems like we're going... A couple of women said they want to enter the race.
Wow.
We're going to have a female race. But it's something interesting developing.
Very much so. I'm excited.
Yes.
Yes, I'm excited. Okay, $1,000. That's a lot of money to start with, and I'm sure you're going to find lots of new sponsors. But make sure you get some of those sponsors to sponsor the Diana Wright Show live online.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, I'm going to talk to Dalton about the bitter lemon and have him come see you. Because
yes, we've tried the bitter lemon. He actually gave us 2 samples of it, and we did it. It's really what it says, bitter lemon. But it's bitter. Oh my God, Dalton, it's so bitter. But we weren't on it long enough to say, what it does or anything like that. Because he said, I think he said 3 months or something. You have to be on it to actually see the effects. Some people get immediate effects, just like everything else. All equation equal.
The problem with supplements is that we're restricted in saying what it can cure and not cure. That the current medical construct says only doctors can offer any kind of medical advice.
Right.
So you have a lot of people who are producing stuff and they're not able to say exactly what it does. I am not selling bitter lemon, so bitter melon, so I can explain that for people with high blood pressure, people with diabetes, it is definitely something that can give you some relief. And this is the problem. There's no product that you have to take just because you have to take it. So for you who is healthy and not suffering from diabetes or high blood pressure, you wouldn't see any great results from it. But for somebody who is struggling with managing their blood sugar levels and keeping their pressure intact, it's a fantastic product.
Yes, all right. So that's bitter melon, and it was also featured on Dr. Oz's show. It's online if you want to go check it out. And I do know the gentleman, Dalton. So I'm challenging all of you out there to enter the race over 40. Dax is challenging you, and John T, of course, wants an over 50, and the women are getting involved too. I'm sure this is going to be a fantastic event every July 4th. So we encourage you to call Dax up and get further information on it. Okay, they're trying to really beat up sugar, but anyway, we just not continue to beat up sugar. They're blaming sugar for yeast infection, type 2 diabetes, depression, arthritis, heart disease, acne, and everything else. I mean, poor sugar. We've been eating sugar forever. Can it be responsible for all of this?
I think it's meat. The meat, the excessive amounts of meat is the thing. That a little bit of meat here and there is not the worst thing. But meat, morning, noon, and night, 7 days a week, I think that definitely is the one we have to really
worry about. Right. And I must tell you that I should thank Vanya, because I actually went online and looked up the whole thing about your blood type and what you should and should not eat. And I was surprised to see that from I was a very young person eating, okay, why did we lose Dax? I hope he can still hear me. There you are. The fact that I always, because I didn't stop eating meat because of any fad or, you know, I don't want to eat meat because this person's not doing it. I just feel like when I ate meat, it just did not digest for me. Only to go on, after Vanya mentioned the blood type thing, I went on, and it's one of the things I'm not supposed to be eating is meat.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, wow, only we have knowledge. Knowledge gives you power, man. Just gives you power. Just like I Love Me gives you power. April 30th, I Love Me Day. And don't forget that October 5, we're having a great event to raise money for a foundation called Save a Life Jamaica Foundation. Novelet Gale is the president of the foundation, and we're having a great event come October 5. So we want you to circle your calendar for that date. Make no plans. It's only $20 for the actual donation, and then extra $10 for food. And that, you know, the restaurant has a nice menu. So, but I'll tell you more about it. It's quite going to be a nice affair. You have to dress a certain way and all that kind of good stuff. But we don't want to give away too much of the juice right now, because since it's October, we just want you to circle your calendar for October 5. And if you can't make the event, then we're asking you to go to Save a Life Jamaica Foundation website and donate the $20 there if you can't come. But if you're actually going to be there, it's going to cost an extra $10 for food. Okay, so we just want to inform you of that. I'm on the board of the foundation, so we had a meeting actually last night, a conference meeting. So, you know, that's all part of what's going to take place here. And if you'd like to be a sponsor of the show, advertiser of the show, or just partner with the show to make it continue and be successful, please give me a call at 561-228-1921. That's 561-228-1921. All right.
Well, hold on. I'd love to be a sponsor, so count me in.
Okay, all right. Dax is my first sponsor.
And then you said April 29th.
April 30th.
April 30th.
Is I Love Me Day. International I Love Me Day. Because, you know, the internet is international, so we're not limited to the United States. And I want it to be just as big as Valentine's Day, where people know that this is the day you're going to go and take care of you. Forget about everything else.
Tell me more about how we actually would celebrate on that particular day.
How we're going to celebrate on that particular day, I want you to get up that morning, make sure your children are loving themselves also. It's not a selfish thing. And I want you, even before we get to April 30th, to encourage your friends, and even some of the people you don't like, just tell them about it. Tell them to love themselves, because maybe if they love themselves, they won't be as evil as you think they are. Because normally when people are evil, they don't love themselves, because you can go to some root of some problem that's preventing them from appreciating who they are. Also, on that day, I want you to go out and do something special for yourself that indicates, I love me truly. I wanted you also, I was trying to get some kind of coordination where people will go out and buy my t-shirts and wear it that day. But maybe we have to wait until next year to do that, because the t-shirts are online, but I'm not sure people are, motivated enough yet, because I do believe loving yourself is a major issue, is a major problem for a lot of people. It doesn't come like overnight, and they're going, yeah, Diana, look in the mirror. You see me? I don't really like me. I want to get some more hair, or I want to get the straighter nose, or, yeah. So it's a process, for people to get to love who they are. Even when you were talking about the race just now, I'm thinking of and even the fact that they're saying you must exercise to continue to maintain your weight. A lot of black women, they don't want to exercise. You ask them why. Oh, I don't want my hair to get sweat out, my weave. I'm like, your weave? Well, how about your health? You know, so I think it's a major process to try to get people to truly love who they are, be who they are, try not to be someone else or want someone else's life. Just be content, live in contentment, and just appreciate what God made you to be. You know, so I think it's a process. So, but my goal is to get everyone to wear my I Love Me t-shirt that particular day. Okay? I have shirts available right now.
I need to order the shirt.
Yeah, you need to order a shirt. Okay, all right.
Well, you have men's too, right?
Yes, we have men, but the men we don't have in stock. We have to order them. So, because I wasn't sure how men would react to the whole thing, because I was even suggesting to men, if they want to buy the shirts, we don't have to write I love me to make you feel like you're a girl, but you can just write love me on it. You can buy the shirts and give it to your loved ones who are female, who you think might be struggling, you know, with their whole persona, their self-confidence, self-esteem, that kind of thing. It actually boosts you. You know, if you go on my website, you'll see a young lady there wearing the shirt, and you could see her just kind of effervescing with the shirt on, you know. So, you know, so we're just asking people to spread the word on Facebook, and it's not about where you start, it's where you finish, okay? If you don't love yourself today, I promise you when you do, you're going to feel so much better about yourself, about life, about love, receiving love, giving love, your children, everything will come into perspective for you. And you're even able to forgive much easily. Much more easily if you love yourself. You are so able to forgive people who have wronged you. Okay?
You know, Diana, it's funny. When somebody is passionate about something, you hear them, you get them, and you go, yeah.
Yes.
But really, I think what you're doing with this, and I'd like to say it this way, what we are doing, because, you know, I'm joining you not because I want any part of the credit for it, but I'm joining you because I feel that unless I'm involved or unless I'm committed,
right.
You know, there's a story about the bacon and egg breakfast.
Okay.
The chicken is involved. He laid the egg.
Yes.
Right? But the pig is really committed because his butt is on the line. You know?
Oh, definitely. Oh, that's a good one.
so in the same way, you know, me and you doing the show, I can be involved because I'm here talking and agreeing with you, but I am committed to the fact that loving yourself is not just a nice thought. It really changes how you start to put things into perspective, how you start addressing your work, your family, your health, your finances, your daily activities, how you go to the grocery store and shop. Are you shopping based on, you know, what's convenient, or are you shopping based on what is good for you and your body? Are you willing to spend the time to prepare your food? Are you willing to spend the time to eat your food, to chew your food, to enjoy a meal? Not only for the fact that you have to eat, but for the fact that it's a social activity. It's something to spend time with your family, to really enjoy, you know, preparing the food, shopping for the food. If you have the means, growing the food is fantastic. And loving yourself is really where it all begins. That if you switch off the responsibilities and the obligations of just doing what you should be doing and what society has put upon you, and you start saying, what do I need to do? What is important to me?
Yep.
Then you'll see that so many things that, you know, you worry about, you don't need
it's not that important.
Yep.
And I'm telling you, when people read my book, Deadly Negligence, they will actually see why when tragedy hits you, absolutely nothing matters. Nothing. I'm talking about money, clothes, food, your house, nothing. Absolutely nothing matters when you're going through a tragedy like what I went through. and my daughter. It's because it's really her tragedy, but as a parent, you actually are emotionally involved in the whole
Absolutely.
thing. So it's really her story, but I'm telling it. But when you read it, you will truly understand, and truly understand how you must forgive to move forward. Because if you don't forgive, I swear to God, you go down into the trench and you never get out. It's really, really... Everyone that has read it so far has cried. So I'm hoping I can make Dax cry when he reads it also. Okay, Dax. Moving right along, and welcome to Dax. It's a Wow Friday, Wow Big Friday, and Dax is always here with me to go through the news of the week and some of the things that are going on in your personal life, your personal space. We're here just to inspire you and hope that we can make you a better you. Nobody's trying to change you. Nobody's trying to fix you. We're just trying to encourage you through our experiences, because believe me, I've had a few. Okay, and I'm sure Dax has been through a whole lot of trenches himself. He was very successful in his young age, and then boom, things change, things happen, and he's on a new journey. So we're all on new journeys, and we're just trying to get you to get up, because the world is filled with so many depressed, unhappy people. It just amazes me sometimes, and they don't realize it's not about getting that $300 million lottery ticket. It's about just beginning slowly, taking a breath, as Dax would always say, loving yourself first, and then you see how life changes for you. Of course, God has to be involved, or whomever you worship and believe in and trust in and have faith in, but you must believe that there's always hope. The world is never closed. It's never black as long as you're alive. Okay? So just wanted to say that. Okay, something else that was wow for me this week, Dax, I don't know if you heard the story. There's 5 states that are running out of H2O water. South Dakota, 86.3% of the state is under a severe drought. In Colorado, 89%. In New Mexico, 89.9%. In Kansas, 96%. And in Nebraska, 100% of Nebraska is actually under severe drought. And I thought to myself, I bet you we didn't think about that. There are people who have to worry about water, So it's just a matter of saying, be grateful for what you have. So
I have always been interested, well, not always, over the last 8 or 9 years, I've become very interested in desalination. We have all of these huge amounts of ocean that when I, learned about water, it turns out that less than 1% or there's a very small percentage of all the water in the world that is actually drinkable.
Yes.
That the ocean is not used. We can't use it because it's salty.
Right.
There's lots of water that is contaminated, and it's not something that we can use. It's stagnant, and then only a small percentage actually can be consumed for and we're consuming it and wasting it at a significantly high rate. So. It is a huge problem and something worth immediate attention, yes.
Yes, and so, just let's think of those 5 states when we're complaining about something, okay?
Sure.
All right, scientists are making a kidney in the lab, and this kidney has been transplanted into animals where it started to produce urine. Similar techniques to make simple body parts have already been used, as you know, the heart and all of those in patients, but the kidney is one of the most complicated organs so far to be engineered, and they're saying that an engineered kidney is less effective obviously than the real one. So scientists are really making moves on the kidney, because when I think of all the patients who are on dialysis, I realize that is so important. I know someone who used to be on air, Brother Paul at WAVS. He is going through a great struggle with his kidney and looking for someone, for a transplant himself. So it kind of, made me look out for stories like these. And when I saw that, I thought to myself, wow, the scientists are really working on our behalf, in the dark. So they're getting someplace. They've actually tested the kidney on an animal and it worked. and the animal produced urine. So there's hope for those of you who are on dialysis and people who are doing bad things to ruin their kidneys. Some of us are born with problems, but some of us actually help to create the problem. Okay? So, all right. Something I thought was quite unusual. I did not expect this because I thought that if you go to an Ivy League school, you would be kind of running the dollar down, chasing the dollar down, making sure that you are making $1 million and all that kind of stuff. But there is reality sets that best educated moms are more likely to opt out and stay home with their children than mothers who went to a regular college. I thought that was just wow for me. And that was proven by the survey.
I think one of the things that we're seeing, and if you put it in perspective, if you look at the women's movement, right? At the time, it seemed, well, men are having all the fun. They're out there making money, doing everything that's wonderful. So we want to get out there. So the first set of women to go through college, have a career, have helped to establish that it's not as much fun as you think it would be. And these Ivy League schools, a lot of these young ladies have parents who happen to have, gone to college themselves and now can report from a more comprehensive experience to say it's not all that is cracked up to be. That we know that the quality of life is beyond our financial ability. And I'll tell you, I Dax Dunn can speak on that with confidence to say, I know what it's like to have financial success, and there's nothing wrong with it.
Yes.
But if you lose balance in terms of not being able to truly enjoy your family, not being able to really appreciate life and health, then there's no value in it. So I think that two things. One, understanding that it's not about making as much money as possible. It's about having enough money to have the quality of life that you need and be able to still enjoy the things that you feel are important, like raising kids, and like being able to take time off and enjoy your family.
Yes, and only 45% of women with Ivy League degrees are actually employed. I thought that number was really low. And 57% of the women who went to regular colleges are employed. So, hey, what can I say? I just thought it was incredible. Anyway, so, because when I decided to stay home with my daughter, everybody was like, oh, you're giving up your show, you're crazy.
But you said they're not employed.
They're not, they're home.
Job.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, being a mother is a job. Thank you for reminding me, Dax.
Or being a wife of a successful executive. I could imagine that a high-powered executive would like that his wife can go to a function and hold her own in an intelligent conversation and not feel like she's out of her league. So
exactly, yes.
While she may not be currently employed, she's employable.
Yes.
Fortunately, she's conversational and current in terms of just, based on her education.
Absolutely. Okay, I
suggest that women without education are by any means.
No. We're definitely not, because sometimes people are educated and they're not as smart as those people who never went to college. Okay, and a lot of people who did not go to college are normally very successful in their own right. And
I just want to cover myself with this because I want to be clear that in a corporate environment where degrees and doctorates and education becomes more valuable or more recognized, the wife with those similar qualifications may be more comfortable. Not suggesting that quality of life or personal value has anything to do with that.
Right. And don't forget that Bill Gates dropped out of college, Zuckerberg did too, and we can go on and on. Anyway.
Steve Jobs.
Yes, Steve Jobs.
Matt Goodell.
Yes.
Dax Dunn.
Dax Dunn too can join the club. All right. Singer Lauryn Hill I'm not sure you know what's going on with her. She owes the government like lots of millions. Let's see, how many millions does she owe? I am not able to see that on my thing. Okay, so she said that she just decided to get out of society because her family were being manipulated and very real threats to herself and her family. She owes the government $1.6 million because she did not file her taxes between 2005 and 2007. And I'm simply just tired of all these celebrities coming out and saying they didn't pay their taxes and they're not in jail. Because if we don't pay our taxes, the IRS is at our door.
Wesley Snipes just came out of jail for that.
Yes, Wesley Snipes just came out of jail, and here she is now, and she's asking the court to give her probation instead of jail time, so that she can actually work to pay off the $1.6 million. You know, when I read this story, I felt bad because she's a young person. When I used to see her on movies, in the movies, she was so talented, and I thought to myself, where did she go wrong? She ended up with 5 children for one of Bob Marley's sons, and he didn't marry her. He went stepping to somebody else, and I just think she has just gotten herself into a hole, you know. So, and here she is now to see it's not just a hole of personal life in general, it's a hole of financial hole. So when we sit back and we want to live like someone else or be them, woe unto their other lifestyle that we don't know about. So that's the reason I thought this was a wow. Okay, this one is a wow, but I'm not shocked that a new study finds that hospitals make money from their own mistakes because insurers pay them for the longer stays and extra care that patients need to treat surgical complications that could have been prevented. So in other words, the doctors are setting up themselves to have complications within a surgery so that the patient then will stay longer, so then they will make more money from the insurance. You know, you read these things and you go, are people for real? Seriously.
You know, I don't even want to comment. I don't even want you to get me started.
No, I'm serious. This is just totally ridiculous. It's the same way you go to a hospital and you are sick with one thing, and you go there, and because of the various bacteria and stuff, you can actually get that bacteria in that hospital, die from the bacteria, and not what you went to the hospital for. I'm serious.
I'll just say this. The medical establishment is in the business of disease.
Yes, I'm giving it.
They're committed to studying disease, treating disease, but not so much in curing disease.
Mm-hmm.
Since polio, no disease has been cured.
Mm-hmm.
But every disease has a range of treatments and a whole lot of drugs that are available, but there's no cures. So ask yourself the question, I wonder why that is. You know?
I wonder that all the time. And again, that's part of my book too, that there's something in that whole thing in my book, because it is amazing to see that the doctors actually know what can cure something, but they choose not to go down that street immediately. Okay? All right, so I'll say no more. That's also in my book. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Thank you so much for joining us. We're inside of the Diana Wright Show live online. My special guest on Wow Big Friday is Dax Dunn, and we're talking about all the news of the week. Of course, we spoke about Boston. We know that's on everybody's mind, but we're trying to get you to some other stories that are happening in the world. It's not the only thing going on in the world, and we're trying to get you not to take yourself down into that deep dark hole of being afraid and living in fear. It's not important, it's not realistic, so you need to just be thankful and try to live above what's going on. Yes, we empathize, we sympathize with all the families who are hurting, the people who have lost their limbs just by going to an event. We're sorry about that. We're sorry for the people who lost their loved ones by death. And of course, we wonder, and I do wonder, who are the parents of these children? How did they get to the state that they are, that they decide to kill other people, so many people, including trying to rob a store last night, the 7-Eleven store, kill the guard of MIT sitting in his car doing nothing to them. Why? And how do we raise these children? Why is it that when we see photographs of these children when they were younger, they look so sad and depressed? Check your children out. Take some pictures and see how they look, and you'll understand. It's just like people going to a wedding, and when they look at the wedding pictures, they go, oh my God, I'm so fat. I didn't know I was that fat. It's the same thing. I'm serious. It's not funny either. Okay. And some other news here. Economic growth in sub-Saharan Africa should significantly outpace the global average over the next 3 years. This is according to the World Bank. Can you imagine there's good things happening in Africa? Apart from people killing people and, you know, societies taking a bad turn and where all the terrorists are grown and all that, there are good things happening in Africa.
Well, you know, I actually see that news in a very different way. What happens is that the rest of the world is so inflated with their economies and the financial debacle. And you know, that what's happening is that they're still, all the productivity is going towards trying to unravel those financial woes. And what happens in Africa is that they're less entangled, they're less caught up in it, and now their markets become more attractive. But I actually was reading a related article about Iceland.
Yes.
And Iceland actually made a decision to go the opposite direction of a lot of these European countries, where they're not accepting the bailout. They rejected the IMF's proposal. They decided to invest in their people, and instead of bailing out the banks, they bailed out the people. They said, look, if you owe on your house and the house is no longer has a value, then you don't need to pay the mortgage.
Amen to that.
Several of the investments, you know, that were tied to overseas banking index and made those illegal, so those loans didn't have to be repaid.
Right.
And it's interesting to watch. I really think that we should pay more attention to it, and you know, unfortunately, because they're not part of the global system.
Mainstream, yes.
Left to the side, and not enough people are looking at what's actually happening there, you know.
But also, though, in Iceland, Iceland was part of the whole falling down of the world economy, you know. It actually started there because it was so remote that all these guys were going there doing crazy things like they did here, and no one was noticing because it's Iceland. Right. So I watched, there was a program on Current TV that they feature, either Current TV or Wealth TV, one of those two, and they show you how the whole thing actually started, and Iceland was one of the countries that, and I was like, who even thinks about Iceland? You know, most people don't, because they're thinking.
I'm actually going to Iceland in June.
Wow, you're going there.
Yeah,
oh, you're so adventurous. You're just better than I am when it comes to adventure. Iceland.
You know, this is a very interesting story. When I was 4, back in Jamaica, the lady who used to take care of me, she had a pen pal in Iceland.
Wow.
They eventually got married, and she kept in touch with me and my family for all my life.
Really?
And she's been inviting me to Iceland for the last 8 or 9 years. And finally I took a trip a couple of years ago to Egypt with my son.
Right.
And now it's my daughter. She's come of age. She's now gonna be 18 this year. And I said, okay, we're going to Iceland. So
wow.
The ticket is booked. I'm planning to go, and it's just coincidental that we're talking about Iceland.
Congratulations! That is so great, because I do believe that we should travel the world. We took our daughter to Europe last year, to lots of European countries, because I keep saying to her, America is not the world. You are an American, you were born here, but it's not the world. There's a whole big world out there to discover. You know, so congratulations on that. So when we're ready to go to Iceland, that means we have somewhere to stay, right?
Yes.
Okay, all right, definitely.
Only certain times of the year you can't even go, meaning...
Definitely, I know that.
Don't come up for certain points of the year. So we're going in that time when it's great to go, but for the rest of the time, I don't think it's even somewhere you would want to go. But
no, I know. I've seen it on HGTV when people are trying to move there for jobs and how difficult it is to climb up those hills in the snow and that kind of thing. So I know. I've seen it a lot on television. On HGTV, I was actually shocked to see people are actually applying for jobs in Iceland, and kids are actually going there to the university there. They have a university there that I think has to do with the environment and something of that nature. So, okay, so just in case I'm going to Iceland, I don't have to pay for the hotel. All right, and you definitely have to go there when Dax is going in July, because you don't want to be there any other time. It's really bad. Okay, all right. This is a very interesting story, Dax, and it's our last one. 40 states and the District of Columbia are participating in a working group and is considering other tests than the GED. You know what the GED is, right?
yes.
Yes. Do you imagine that the GED has now decided to go computerized and take out the paper portion of it, and they're doubling the price to $120. So most of the states, and you know that a lot of people who do the GED are people who cannot afford, or they come, from other countries and they want to, get the high school experience without actually going to high school. Right. So a lot of states that are now trying to keep it at $40, which is what it normally is, and they are actually going to $120. So they're going to be dumped. The GED is going to be dumped. So if you were planning to take the GED, make sure you do your research properly, and you're not going to pay that $120, because a lot of states are trying to find an alternative, and they're not going to kind of judge you on the GED. So that is good news for a lot of folks.
Well, and I think one of the great things with it too is that we have these standards as if all of us are the same.
Yes.
So we should have different types of tests based on different types of personalities. There are people who are very academic. There are people who are very book smart. There are people who are very social, and there are people who are very tactile. They're talented in terms of singing or expressing themselves artistically. So we really should have a wider range of testing.
Okay, and did you know that there are things in your workplace that can actually be dangerous to your health? Accidents happen in your workplace, like lifting, slipping, and falling. An open door plan, which they say noise and lack of privacy increases your stress, because you're wondering if what you're saying on the phone to your friend and the next person in the cubicle is hearing it. Green offices outside is good, but a lot of people are allergic. A lot of people are going into this green office thing. Germy male co-workers.
German
male co-workers, yes, they're saying germs is more likely to be exchanged if your cubicle mate is male. Oh my goodness. Here's another one. See, this is Friday, so we want to make you laugh before you get into the weekend of fun. And communal coffee pots. Now, I always thought that was no good, because I would never drink, I don't drink coffee, but I mean, I always wondered, how come everybody's going to that coffee pot? Are they worried about what's going on with that pot? Who made the coffee? Kind of thing. So I was always suspicious of that one. So they say communal coffee pot, most likely place to find norovirus, highly contagious. Okay. All right. Here's another one. What's this one say? Fitness balls in office. People are using fitness balls as their office chair. I never thought that was one. And they're saying, no, it's good for strength and all that, but you should do the exact opposite. You should find a good, comfortable chair to sit in. And the next one is energy-saving bulbs, which I hate because I think they're too dim for you to read with. They agree. They're damaging your eyes, okay? Okay, this one is office air. Occupational asthma. A lot of people are getting asthma for just breathing the air of other people in their office. 10% of them. Okay, who knew? And this one is computer screens can be dangerous, can lead to dry eyes, headaches, eye strain, blurred vision, and other symptoms of computer vision syndrome. Did you even know that there was such a syndrome? Okay. All right. Workplace bullying. Yes, this one is very popular. You can have people that bully you on your job. It's not just about high school or junior high. They do bully you on the job. 1 out of 4 workers say they have been bullied by their co-workers. Free candy, expanding your waistline. Stay away from the candy jar, please. Okay, and the last one is overheated offices. Slows productivity. It's better to be in an office that's cold. Okay, Dax, is your office cool for your employees, or are you killing them?
You know, my office, it tends to be neutral. We try and keep it where everybody is comfortable. So I'll go in there sometimes and I'll say, wow, it's warm in here.
Okay.
And the people in there say, no, it's just right for me. Leave it alone. Leave the thermostat.
Leave it alone.
You know, or I'll go in there and it's cold on the person who is in there, because different people have different temperatures that they're comfortable with, and it's not locked away so nobody can change it. It's up to them to adjust it based on their liking. So
okay, so he's a good employer then. He's not holding you hostage, because you know some of these offices, they actually lock the thermostat so you can't touch it, you know, and you're freezing. I know my husband is one of those people who his job is always cold. So I always have to remind him, make sure you take a sweat, you know, top just in case if it's cold. So because you can, people get sick from just being cold, you know. So, okay, anyway, there we are, the end of the road here, the end of the journey until Wednesday, which is Wellness Wednesday, and we have Dax back. And I just want to remind you of the quotation before we go. Life is like a disco. No matter how long the music plays, just keep on dancing and don't give up. Because I find that a lot of people are giving up and losing hope and just, you know, kind of saying, well, you know, look at what's going on in Boston. Why am I working so hard? Why am I doing this? See, Dax is going to Iceland with his daughter. What a wonderful thing that is. And he's going to start a new competition to challenge him at the 100 meters. $1,000 is the prize. So if you're over 40 and think you're fast, you need to call Dax at... Which number do you want him to call you at? The same number of the Rad Wellness? Okay.
You can call 866
okay.
786 3617. But, you know, I'll tell you just before we go, the idea of the competition is simply to motivate myself, you know. I know that running is something I've always wanted to do and enjoyed doing. I started doing it in January, and I want to continue. And if there's $1,000 that I have to lose, I'm going to put the time and energy. And if at the end I have to pay somebody $1,000, it still gave me the motivation from now till the 4th of July to put every effort in it, so I know I'm at my best.
Very good.
The person who beats me will beat me when I'm at my best, because I am not going to give up $1,000 that easy.
That easy. And Dax is going to be the first sponsor of the Diana Wright Show. And we thank him for that, and we welcome it. And all of you others out there who want to be sponsors, because don't worry about where we are right now. We're big, and we're going to be big. April 30th is I Love Me Day, and it's International I Love Me Day. It's going to be just as big as Valentine's Day. I promise you by next year everybody will be wearing an I Love Me t-shirt on that day. Promise you.
It's going to happen. Viral.
Yes, it's going viral. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Yep.
Okay.
Definitely.
By the way, is Vanya going running with you, or she's not? She's not a runner.
Vanya runs. Vanya runs every day. I am a sprinter. She prefers a jog.
Okay.
But she does her running every day, you know. And
very good.
You know, there's something we both enjoy.
So is she going to join us on Wednesday for Wellness Wednesday again?
I will ask her. I'm sure she'll love to join us. And by the way, you know, before we were a little short staffed, so we got people in now, and so yeah, we can definitely be here Wednesday.
Okay, all right. So thank you so much, Dax. Have a great weekend. Stay prayed up, and stay loving your family.
To your viewers, I really hope that we brought some encouragement and some enlightenment. And Diana, it's a pleasure. I really enjoy spending the time with you, and I look forward to continuing to grow with you on the show. And certainly I Love Me is...
Yes, I know you do. That I know. I know Dax loves himself some Dax. So nobody has to tell me about that one. I know it. I've worked with him. I've experienced it. I've seen his success, and I'm seeing it grow again. So it's a pleasure. And I must tell you that everyone that watches the show when you're on, they always say, "Oh my God, you and Dax are so exciting together." So we make a great team. So thank you so much. All right. Good vibes. Good vibes.
All right.
All right. So take care and have a great weekend. All right. Okay. That is Dax Dunn. And, he's my special guest every Friday for Wow Friday, Big Friday. And, of course, he's here every Wednesday, Wellness Wednesday with Diana and Dax. And we thank him so much for joining us. He's going to be the first sponsor of the show. So we appreciate that. And we ask you to join in with him, become a partner of the show, a sponsor of the show, or an advertiser for the show. Give me a call, or you can give Dax a call too. He will take your calls about advertising with the program, so you can call him. You don't have to call me. 866-786-3617. That's 866-786-3617. That's the number for Dax if you want to be part of the competition on July 4th to win $1,000. And you must be a part of the Diana Wright Show I Love Me Crusade, which is the International I Love Me Day. Is going to be April 30th. And as we get to April 30th, I'll tell you why I chose April 30th, because it's a day I cannot forget. Okay. And if you'd like to call me to invite me to your function, or, let me spread the word of the I Love Me Crusade to your congregation. And when my book is out, certainly I'd like to be a part of the community to let you see and let you know that no matter what your tragedy, you can actually come out of it whole, sane, blessed, and everything else. Stay prayed up and stay loving God and stay knowing that His Son Jesus, with Him all things are possible. Love your family, love your friends, and even your enemies. Please tell them to love themselves, because they will just be a better person. I know it's a process. I know it doesn't come overnight, but I'm asking you to continue to love yourself every single day, because it's so important. It seems so, simple, but for a lot of people, it's not easy to love themselves, because they truly want to be someone else. They're truly not comfortable in their own skin. They're truly not feeling the love that you're telling them to find for themselves. But I promise you, if you do it every single day religiously, the psychiatrist and the psychologist will tell you that any habit you try to incorporate into your life, it takes 21 days for it to set. So take the time. You're important. You're worthy. You're worth something. You are validated on this show. And we try to give you information to make you just a little better you. Feel a little better about yourself and where you're going. So thank you so much again for joining us. And of course, have a great weekend, a blessed weekend. And wherever you go to worship, even if you're worshiping in your own house, we hope that you take God into your presence. And remember, where two or more gather, He is in your presence. And we thank Him for His blessings. And of course, we continue to ask you to live in humility and be committed to what you start to do. Try to finish it and live with compassion for others. So stay prayed up. And if you love something, set it free. If it comes back, it's yours. If it doesn't, it was never yours. Don't forget, October 5 is a day that you will have the opportunity to attend a function, a fundraising function for Save a Life Jamaica Foundation. And it's going to be $10 extra for food and $20 for the contribution of the fundraising event. It's a beautiful location that we're choosing, the beautiful theme. We'll tell you more about it as we get closer, so you can be prepared. And if you're not going to be at the event, we invite you to go to the website, Save a Life Jamaica Foundation, and donate that $20. Thank you so much, and have a super, super blessed weekend. Love yourself, teach your children to love themselves, and even your enemies, teach them to love themselves. And take a picture of your children this week and see how they look. Do they look sad? Do they look happy? Do they look joyful? Do they look like they are content and loving themselves? A picture tells 1,000 words. Be blessed and stay prayed up.